John here again. So that noise is pretty distinctive in your car. It sounds a little different than that. I don't know if you can hear it on camera, but that clunking, kunk, 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 just going straight down the road. You know, hitting these little tiny imperfections in the road. That's your sway bar and link there. And generally, that's what that noise is. It's a pain in the butt as far as annoyance. If these break, then you're gonna have issues. But I've actually seen one break, and it's not 100% all the time that clunking is that. It could be, I actually did this Toyota Camry once where this saddle, the bushing was completely worn out, and then it started getting into the sway bar itself and wearing that down. And same kind of noise, clunk and clunk and clunk. But these sway bar end links are generally almost always what that noise is, and they're easy to do, fairly cheap, 16 bucks for, well, there's a good, better, best, you know, that type of thing. You can get one that has greasable fittings on the end there, but honestly I'm just going to buy like the OEM one here, non-greasable, because how often you're going to grease that thing. So anyways, they come off really simple, but you do need it. If they do break, you know, because they will break after a while, it just, you know, just give way. If you're a slow driver like my wife, it may not matter, but if you're you know, I take this car down to the city, off to New York City, New Jersey. The Merritt Parkway is full of high-speed turns, and I'm, you know, if you're going 80, if you're not going 80, you're in the way. But I guess you'd be the first to know what understeer and oversteer is if this thing breaks, because it's just a torsion bar. You know, when this side's going up, the other side's going down, help keep the tires planted on the road. So it's definitely an important item. But for me, for her, my wife, she didn't even know it was clunking. I took this car the other day, and it's horrible. Just going down the road, clunk, 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 clunk. I asked her about it, and she's like, I didn't hear nothing. So I gotta get rid of that noise, and it's gonna be a quick video, just show you how to do it. Well, actually, generally speaking, it's a quick video, but these always have a tendency to spin. The best way, I'm not gonna do it from underneath here. I'm gonna jack this up and try to. The reason I'm just going to jack the car up first, not here, just jack the car up so this dangles, and that'll put pressure on this link, because right now there's no pressure. I'll put pressure on the link and hopefully hit it with an impact wrench, and those will spin off. They might not. This whole mechanism will spin, and then you're going to have to do Avenue B. But let me take this wheel off and show you what I'm talking about. So with the wheel off and the jack, you know, under a frame, it allows the suspension to, you know, have some torque on it. So hopefully I'll hit this with a impact, and it'll come right off. Like I said, if not, I'll have to go to plan B. But I have to take the wheel off, because to get to this side, even this side is problematic. I don't want to take it all the way off. I can't see if that's turning or not. Oh yeah. Sorry, I'm gonna block it. Yeah, it's turning. We're gonna have to go to plan B. Let me see if this side will come out. I don't think it did. Yeah, it's just moving. Plan B. Of course, that always happens, but I always try it anyways. So now you gotta go with the old, let me get the, this is a new one. This guy here has, you can't see it, but I think it's a 3/16. Let me take this nut off. Allen wrench on the end of it, and you got to stick an Allen wrench in here, and then I think it's a 14. The old 14 wrench, you know, one of these deals. Stick the Allen wrench here, but it would be nice if they just zipped off. But in this case they didn't. The reason I say it is because sometimes that Allen wrench hole is clogged with rust and you can't get in there. Then you got to go to like plan C, clamp a pair of vice grips in here, needle nose or something, as hard as you can. So just having torque on here didn't do the trick. If this Allen wrench don't fit in there, then I'm going to have to go to plan C and clamp that and try to work it off that way. And then there's always plan D. Get the fire out and just cut it off. I hope I don't have to go that far, because I just want to get this done. So, but it might be an option where I have to cut it off, whether it's torches or whatever you got to cut with. So this is a 2010 Subaru. It's a Forester, but like I said, it doesn't matter. Sway bar links are on every car, and I did have to pick that out a little bit, but whoops, putting a wrench on first. They're on every car, and that clunk is pretty goddamn distinctive. See if I get a little movement on that. Oh man, I might need a extension now. You buy some aftermarkets have a little flat spot on it's in the hole. Has a little flat spot. I keep blocking the camera probably, but I gotta get my hands in there. Right here on the, or I'll show you in a second. Let me try to bust this loose. Oh yeah. I think yeah, she's loose. I think that party's not over yet. So fighting the end of that threads there, busting that rust off. The top one came out, and now got to work on this bottom one. Of course, the bottom one, the end where the Allen on the right there on the bottom, what goes into there, as you can see, the end of that bolt is a little rusty, and of course it stripped out the Allen. So plan B, get a pair of needle nose vice grips, clamp that as best you can, as tight as you can, and I'm going to hit it with the impact, see if that'll bust it loose. Then on to plan C and D if necessary. It's usually the case on these, but whatever. I'll try one more time with the. I don't want to take this completely off, by the way. It's jacked up on the frame. I just want to loosen this because if that link comes out, boing, this lower control arm is probably going to pop down. And I say probably, most likely. So I just want to loosen it. I don't want to take it off yet. I mean, that's taken out, but there's enough pressure holding it in there. So let's see what happens here. But I know if I go too much, it'll right off. Actually, it doesn't seem like there's no pressure on that. I thought this was going to be under pressure, but it's not. I'll take it right off. Alright. There she is. Put the new one on. I mean, there is a little bit of pressure, but I'll show you in a second. Just the way this is lined up. Get out of the hole. Yeah, these are spent pretty good. Anyways, let's pop the new ones in. Then it's probably going to line up, but let's see what happens. This is the same thing with the ends. I was going to point out, sometimes the aftermarket ones has a flat spot on here, so you can slip a wrench on there, usually a 14-inch wrench instead of the Allen thing. That works a little better, but you have to do it this way. Down a little bit. Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's got a little pressure. You can jack this control arm up. It'll help with things. Oh, got a little bottle jack here. I might do that. I could probably force it in, but it's at a little bit of an angle, so let me try to jack this up here. Almost there. And just a little bit more. Yeah. There it goes. Alright, now the rest of this cake. No need to grease, it's pre-greased. We're good to go. Do the other side. See how easy that was? Like I said, it could get nasty. The rustier it gets. Cutting them off, and sometimes the stud wants to get rusted in the holes, and then it's a real nightmare. Usually you can get them off no problem. Anyway, so this is a 14, probably not. It's not even a 15. I'll get another wrench. So there you have it. Let's tighten the top one up. I used an impact to get it down close, but turns out the new nut is a 17, but moreover the Allen wrench that I thought it was a 3/16 what I used on the old ones. Probably had just too much rust in there, that's why it fit and then stripped out. The new one is a 5mm Allen. So come on. So now I just got to tighten this bottom up because it's starting to spin. Like I said, I used the Allen wrench, the impact to get it close. But now I'll finish it up with the wrench 17 and a 5mm. There we go. Now she's tight. I think I had blue Loctite on the nuts, or they're lock nuts. Either way, that's about all there is to that. Let me put this wheel on. All right, tires on. It's back down. No more clunking. Solid as solid as Sears is what I was going to say, but really is that saying? Can you even use that anymore? So there's no more clunking. I did get the part. It's a Beck Arnley. I probably single-handedly had something to do with putting Sears out of business, but what I do is go to rockauto.com and get a part number, because they got economy or best, better on part numbers, and then I'll cross-reference it to Amazon, and it shows up a day later. Sorry, Sears, it's just the way it goes, sign of the time. So let me do the other side and get this car out of here. So that was pretty easy. As things go, could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot easier, just take out the two nuts, but they do get stuck in there. But that being said, let's hope whoever made this put the grease in there. As you can see, there's no grease fittings, neither did the OEM one, but if you get like a Moog end, it comes with Zerk fittings, you can grease them. Let's hope somebody did their job and greased these. Either way, it's tight. This is the one I just took off, yeah? Little guy. Thought it was the OEM. Apparently it's a aftermarket. Of course it's junk, but this one was good. It didn't have any movement. Obviously it's OEM, as it's way thicker. Still no grease fittings, but I'm the only one, this is my wife's car, I'm the only one that does maintenance. I do not remember doing just one sway bar link. That doesn't even make sense to me. So apparently it was the case, because like I said, the only other person that did maintenance on this is a friend of mine, did the head gasket. But so lo and behold, the end bolt, of course, stripped, rusted solid. I can't do any of the things I did to the other side. I got the top off, that was a monkey. So I'm on to plan C. Guess I got to cut this off. I don't want to use a flame in there, just because I ain't the world's best torch cutting guy, and there's too much to go around. Ball joints and CV boot. I'll probably end up burning a hole in that. So I'm going to try the old wheel technique. Cut that off and then get it replaced. But cannot believe the OEM. I shouldn't even have touched it. I noticed it right away. I was like, how thick that bastard is. I should have just left it in play. Live and learn. Of course, the wife just asked me, how long are you going to be? I got to go. I'm like, ran into a snag. So I guess we're on to option, what, C or D? I don't know where we're at. I'm going to have to cut this behind the boot here. Can't cut the nut that way because it's, in the channel there. And hopefully I won't cut this ear off, right? You're good nothing. I have to try to even cut without cutting anything else in the meantime, like control arm. That wouldn't be good. Shit. This thing's at a goddamn angle. I can't get in there properly. Well, maybe this way. Just probably take my hand out. Well, that's done. I ain't out of the woods yet, of course. I've got, maybe we'll come out of there. Oh, you bastard. Ain't that some shit? With a closer look. It's like, what are the odds, huh? I cut it. That's not good light there, but there's still a little bit of a collar on there. I gotta get a little closer. Problem is, I didn't want to get into this thing here, but now I can see better. I might just try to grind that off. I don't want to cut this mistake or this weld here. What if I get into that? There's 3 welds, but what are the odds? Alright, keep going. Well, I gave it as close as a shave as I could, but still I can't, you know, I'm starting to get into the bracket here. Plus I have no way of holding it now, so it's just kind of rotating, and I guess I'm on to option, who knows what I'm on, F. Try to bang it out this way, I guess. I don't know what else to do. Well, it didn't work. It's got too much of a collar on it. It won't go through the hole. I thought maybe I cut it short enough. Actually, it kind of did bust it up a little bit. What a pain in the butt. Thought this was going to be easy. Alright, so now I did, so I could probably get a better bite on it now. A pair of vice grips. Yeah, see now it's sticking out more. I think I could chop that off. Let's see if I can get my blade in there. Pretty sure now I can get the blade in there. Oh yeah, I got room now. Just stick that. Before it was just flush and I couldn't get any closer, as you can see. What a pain right in the tit. Alright, let me get a pair of vice grips on that and hold it out a little bit. Oh, it just keeps getting better. Will be option Z here. Right, so one more attempt with the cutoff wheel. That air hammer almost did the trick, but that was an Ingersoll Rand. I just recently purchased another one that supposedly knocks out a ball joint, but let me try this one more time because I don't have that other one hooked up yet. Boy, that's going to be close. We're going to cut right into this control arm. Pliers are kind of in the way. I guess I got to reposition that. I got to rethink what I'm doing here. I don't want to get into this ear anymore, and I don't want to bust out that bigger hammer and have this thing bend. Yeah, that'll be a no-no. Well, I've got just enough room to squeak in here, and I probably should get a wheel that I've already worn down, because I don't want to cut this control arm. I'm not even going to cut it, but I'm going to try it. Well, I didn't take off too much material. That should fall out of there. Seriously. Where you at, buddy? Come here, Mr. Rand. It should come out of there now. Ah, didn't even have to pull the trigger. Ah, that was about 25 minutes wasted. At least I shined the metal up a little bit. Oh boy. Let me get some paint that up. Alright, so now I just put the other one back in. Bada boom, bada bing. Easy peasy, right? She's back on now. So I can't imagine why I would not replace both at the time. And I'm assuming this is OEM, the big fat honker there. Maybe, because I don't remember this at all. Maybe when this guy came in, I was like, oh my gosh, look at the size difference. There ain't nothing wrong with that one. I probably thought, let me just leave that until it goes, and I sent the other one back perhaps. I don't know, I'm just guessing, but there is a major difference in thickness. Even the shaft is much thicker. Anyways, and this one went, you know, again, I can't remember when I did it. This is 2010, so it could have been anywhere from, you know, 8 years ago, but this wore out before the actual OEM one did on the right side. For whatever reason, this is the second left one. Maybe my wife does a lot of right-hand turns or something. I don't know. Anyways, that's all I got. Went pretty easy after I got this builder off. This is what the problem was. This guy was rusted on the end, but as you can see, you can't even get an Allen wrench in there to hold anything. And I stripped this out, went all friggin' nuts on it with an impact, and was actually using a wrong size impact. So right out the gate I screwed myself. But anyways, either here or there, that's all done, and she's good to go. So until next time, thanks for watching.